Hi, I'm Julie with Global Oasis Yoga, and thank you for joining me for Mat 360. It's a mandala-inspired flow where we're going to be circling around the mat a few times. So it's going to involve a lot of lefts and rights. Perfect opportunity for you to focus on that mind and body connection. I'm not going to be using any specific props, but if you enjoy using blocks or straps or a knee pad would also be handy. We will be on the knees a little bit. Go ahead and gather those nearby, and we will begin in a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes come to touch, knees open as wide as the mat. Allow the belly to drop in between the thighs, resting the forehead on the mat. Breath comes to even inhales and exhales through the nose. Take a moment to gather your thoughts and show up here physically, or you're here physically. Take a moment to show up mentally. Walk the fingertips over towards the right hand side, off the mat, and find a nice deep stretch in the left side body. Go over to the left side. Find center again. Allow the forehead to rest on the mat. You may want to draw the knees just a little bit closer together here, pointing straight forward. And bring the backs of your hands to the lower back, resting gently there, beginning to feel a little bit of an opening in the shoulders. If it's hard for the hands to rest there, you can also grab the outsides of the shirt on the outsides of the body, or use a strap to bring the hands together. And then just see if it's possible to slide the backs of the hands a little bit further up the back, up towards the shoulder blades. As you do this, draw the elbows away from one another and feel an opening in the chest. Clasp the hands now at your sacrum, your tailbone, and then press the fists away from you. Again, a strap is useful here to help the hands come together. And then draw the fists away from the back body, lifting them up towards the sky behind you. Lower the arms, release the clasp of the hands, and reclasp the hands with the opposite thumb on top. So kind of the awkward way. Drive the fists away from you, and then lift them up towards the sky. Lower the hands back down, unclasp, reach the arms back overhead. Take a few more breaths here in a child's pose. make your way into a tabletop. So hips lift, shoulders stacked directly above the wrists, hips stacked above the knees. Let's begin to warm up our wrists by drawing circles with the upper body in one direction or the other. Make the movements a little bit bigger and get into the hips. So as you draw back, sweep the hips over the ankles. Change direction of your circles. Finding neutral again, turn the fingertips towards the outside of your mat and flow side to side here. Left to right, again, just getting into the wrists, warming them up. And then start to make some barrel rolls with the body. So drop the chest towards the mat, sweep towards one side or the other, round through the spine, over to the opposite side. And can you continue with these barrel roll circular movements? Kind of a form of cat and cow here. If you feel like your wrists would like more engagement, you can also turn the fingertips towards your knees and change the circles, change the direction of your circles of your barrel rolls here. Come to stillness and then come to standing on the knees. So release the fingertips there and lift the torso so that you are standing on the knees. Feet are flexed here. Balls of the feet are on the mat. And then if it feels safe for you, sit back onto the heels, keeping the feet flexed. Options here are to place a bolster between the backs of your thighs and your calves if that's too much pressure on the knees at the moment, or keep the body lifted, standing on the knees. I like to stretch the backs of the bottoms of my feet in this way, but it can be kind of distracting. So if that's the case for you, that's fine. Untuck the toes. Resting here for just a moment, and then taking the thumb in towards the palm and then making fists with the hands. Let's roll out the wrists here, bringing a little more heat there. Again, stretching the bottoms of the feet if possible. Clasp the hands behind you again, driving the fists down toward the mat, opening the chest a little bit more. And then clasp the hands in front of you, driving the palms away from the face and then up overhead. So we're avoiding an arch in the spine here, but we're keeping our ribs gathered together. As we reach the fingertips behind us, you can pulse the hands here if you'd like. One more round of that, but change the clasp of the hands. So again, interlacing the fingers behind the back, but the opposite thumb comes on top this time. Reach the fists first towards the mat and then away from the body, separating the collarbones here. Releasing that, and then once more, clasping the hands in front of you the awkward way, reaching the palms away from you, and then up overhead with the rib cage hugged in, taking a few pulses here, opening through the shoulders. Excellent. Releasing that, come back to standing on the knees if you were still seated, and then maybe give the tops of the feet a little release here, tapping them into the mat. Inhale, open the arms wide, bringing the chest through, and then exhale, palms come to touch in front of you with a little bit of a round of the spine here, chin tucks to chest. Inhale, open it wide. This time when you bring the arms together, right arm under left, eagle arms. Separating the separating the shoulder blades from one another on the back. Keeping the triceps parallel to the mat. And pressing the elbows away from you. Unwind, inhale, sweep the arms wide. And then exhale, bring it together this time with the left arm underneath. And then unwinding from there, lower yourself back down into a tabletop, and let's begin our main sequence. Rock the body forward, bring yourself into a plank on the knees or a full plank if you'd like. We'll begin our movement with 3 push-ups. Chaturanga push-ups, elbows straight back behind you as you exhale to lower, pushing back up. Again, 3 push-ups, elbows hugging the sides. And then make your way back to tabletop and hover the knees. So, tabletop shape, but our knees are now lifted about just an inch off the ground, keeping the hips low. We're counting here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Push it back to down dog. Straighten the legs. First down dog of the day. Bend a knee. Bend the other knee if you'd like. Pedal out the feet. Making movements that your body needs today. And then settle into stillness in your down dog, pressing the mat away from you. Really gripping the mat with your fingertips, with your knuckles, with your palms. Equal weight distribution in the hands. Shoulders are rotated out. Chest is driving towards the thighs. On your next inhale, right toes sweep high. Step it through in between the hands for a high lunge. If your foot doesn't make it all the way to the top, if it lands halfway back or wherever, you can heel toe the foot back into place or reach back with the right hand and help bring it into location that it needs to be. Press into the feet once you feel stable. Inhale, find your high lunge, Chandrasana. And then static hold in your high lunge, or if you'd like a little bit more, bend and straighten the back leg for 1, 2, and 3. Inhale to the top, and on your exhale, find warrior 2. So back foot flattens, opening the hips to the long side of the mat, reaching fingertips away from one another. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Glance down, make sure you can see your big toe on the right foot. If you need to sweep the right knee out to the right a little bit to see the toe, make that happen. Sinking deep. And now we're coming into goddess pose. Straighten the right leg. Turn both feet so that they face the long side of the mat, and then angle the toes so that the knees can track with the toes. Keeping the arms extended, sinking the hips, find goddess pose here. And then inhale the arms up overhead. And when you exhale, we're finding cactus with the arms, bringing the elbows down, pointing fingertips up. Static hold here in your cactus shape, or if you'd like, you can incorporate a few side bends. Being gentle with your spine, making sure your bandhas are engaged, that your core muscles are engaged to help protect your back when you find movements like this. Side angle to the back of the mat. So straighten the right leg this time. Rotate the right foot so that the toes are now pointed towards the back of the mat. Reach the left elbow for the left knee. This is option 1. If your left elbow is on the left knee, make sure it's just a light resting. We're not dumping our weight into that knee. Reach the right arm overhead. Options 2 and 3 in your side angle, you can bring the left arm inside the left shin. You can also lift both arms if you're feeling extra spunky today. And now from here, we're rotating the chest down to the mat. We're going to place our hands down on the mat, heel toe, left foot to the left, setting up for a lizard lunge. So our hands are inside the left foot, facing the back of the mat now. We're on the ball of the right foot, drawing the chest forward in our lizard lunge here. The right knee can also lower to the mat if you'd like. Next, we're headed for pigeon. So straighten the left leg, draw hips back. If you want the right knee lowered, come into a half Hanuman or half split here. It's a little bit of a modification because our hands are inside the left foot instead of framing the left foot. So find your pyramid or half Hanuman here. Wherever you are, your chest is reaching forward. Make your way back to a tabletop. So step the left foot back, lower to the knees, and then tuck the toes. We're going to come to camel pose next. So lift the torso, come to standing on the knees, reach the feet back for your heels or blocks if you'd like. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked if that's in your practice. Reach the feet or the hands back for the feet, hips lower, and then drive the hips forward, meeting your camel pose here. The head can stay lifted, or you can allow it to drop behind you, but being careful to only move from one axis point in the vertebrae if you drop your head back. Coming out of it by lowering the hips towards the heels. Optional vinyasa if you'd like, or meet me in a downward facing dog. If you're with me for the vinyasa, you're going to rock forward into high plank or plank on the knees. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you find your back bend of choice, cobra or upward facing dog. And then use the core to draw yourself back into downward facing dog. Okay, we've just finished round 1. We're going to do 3 more rounds of that same sequence with a few different little add-ons here and there. So again, more chances to practice your lefts and rights. From your down dog, we're going to meet our push-ups again. So rock it forward into a high plank or plank on the knees if you'd like. 3 push-ups. Keeping the elbows hugged towards the sides. Making your way back to a downward facing dog after your push-ups are finished. And listen closely, we're going to do the right leg again. Okay, so inhale, right toes high, right knee to right elbow. Inhale it high, right knee to right elbow. Inhaling it high, right knee to right elbow. Inhaling it high. Feet come together, hover your tabletop. So knees come to just about an inch above the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, right toes high. Step it into warrior 1 this time. Right foot comes in between the hands. Left foot flattens to a 45-degree angle, pushing into the outside edge of the left foot. And when you're stable, pressing up into your warrior 1. And here we have the option to hold in our warrior 1. If you'd like to humble your warrior, clasp the hands behind you, reach the fists away from you first, down towards the mat first, opening the collarbones. And then when you're ready, hinge at the waist, lowering the upper body inside the right leg, reaching the arms overhead. And your humble warrior. Press into the legs, come to standing. Warrior 2 is next. Opening the hips to the long side of the mat, fingers reaching forward and behind you. Collarbones are spread here. Goddess pose is next. Straighten through the right leg, turn the toes appropriately, pointing out in opposite directions, knees track over the toes here. Bring the hands down in your goddess and place them on the knees. And we're going to rotate and dip the right shoulder down towards the mat. Lifting up, changing to the left side. Feeling a little bit of a stretch here, kind of in our outer side body. A few more rounds of that. Deep bend in the knees. Side angle is next here. Straighten the right leg, point the toes forward, lowering left knee to left elbow. Option 1. You can also bring left arm inside left knee, lift the left arm, or take the bind. Weaving the left arm underneath the left knee, reaching around with the right hand, seeing if they can come together. Rolling the right shoulder open if you've taken the bind. And then square it off to the top of the mat. Heel toe the left foot aside again, setting up for your lizard. Ball of back foot. Right knee can lower if you'd like. Reach the chest forward. A few breaths here. Lowering the right knee is also a nice option here. And then take your pyramid pose or half Hanuman. Half splits means the right knee is lowered and you're bringing the hips back over the right heel. Pyramid stretch means your right knee is lifted and you straighten the left leg. Either way, we're feeling a stretch in the left hamstring here. Allow the left knee to step back to meet the right, lower down to the knees, camel pose. Toes tucked or toes untucked. Bringing the hips back over the heels, resting the hands on the heels, getting set up. Once you're stable there, pressing the hips forward, opening the chest. Lower the hips towards the heels, your vinyasa, or meet me in a downward facing dog. All right, third round. Bring the body into plank or plank on the knees and 3 push-ups. You can skip the push-ups too if you're feeling like you need to. And just stay in a plank or downward facing dog. When you've finished your push-ups, hovering tabletop, knees just an inch above the mat. Option here, you can twist the knees from either side and dip the hips down towards the mat. We'll be here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press back, downward facing dog. And inhale the left toes high this time. Left foot steps into high lunge in between the hands. Staying on the ball of the right foot, pressing into the mat. Inhale as the arms lift. Again, static hold here, or if you'd like to, bend and straighten that back knee 5 times. When you meet the top, find a big inhale. And as you exhale, open it up, warrior 2. Arms reaching far away from one another, checking to make sure you can see your left big toe. Broaden through the collarbones here. Gazing over the front fingertips. Straighten the left leg. Turn your toes. Goddess pose. Keep the arms extended in your goddess pose. Again, broadening through the collarbones, sinking the hips deep. Make fists with the hands, and we're going to open and close the fists as fast and as dynamically as we possibly can. Building muscle strength in the hands and the wrists and the forearms. Welcome to pulse up and down in your goddess if you'd like. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Side angle pose. Left leg straightens. Right elbow, right knee, gently. Left arm overhead, or any of the other options that we've discussed. Rolling the left shoulder open. And then squaring the chest off to the back of the mat, heel toe right foot aside to set up for your lizard. Dropping the hips low, chest reaching forward. Hands on the inside of the right foot. And then find your pyramid or half Hanuman. Straighten the right leg. If the left knee is lowered, we're drawing hips back towards left heel. Feeling a stretch in the right hamstring this time. Camel is next. So swing right foot back. Set up in your tabletop first. Lift the torso. Sitting the hips over the heels. Hands find the heels. Drive the knees forward. Drive the hips forward. Open the chest. Camel pose. Lower the hips towards the heels. Find your vinyasa or skip it. Your choice. Exhale to lower. Inhale to find your back bend. Exhale to downward facing dog. A few breaths here in our down dog. We have one final round. Sweeping the left toes high. Left knee to left elbow 3 times. One more time. Inhale, left toes high, and then set the feet together. Tabletop is next, hovering the knees. Option to twist from side to side if you'd like. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pushing back to downward facing dog. Inhale, the left toes lift. Step left foot in between the hands. We're finding warrior 1 this time. So the right foot flattens to a 45-degree angle. Weight in the outside edge of the right foot and equally distributed between both feet. Static hold here, or humble your warrior. If you choose to humble your warrior, clasp the hands the awkward way. So the opposite thumb is on top from the last time you did it. It's going to be the one that feels the most unnatural. Pressing the fists down towards the mat first. Opening the collarbones here. And then hinging at the waist. Torso comes inside the left leg. Hands reach away from the body. Press into the legs, finding the way to the top, and then opening the arms into your warrior 2. Left fingertips in front of you, big toe visible. And goddess pose is next, straightening through the left leg. Rotate the toes accordingly, sinking the hips low in your goddess. Bringing the arms into a star shape. Staying here, or lift the right heel. Lower the right heel, lift the left heel. Lower the left heel, lift the right here. And the left. Welcome to lift both at the same time if you'd like. Lifting and lowering for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to change things up here a little bit. Straighten the legs. Turn the toes to face the long side of the mat. I'm going to face you so you have a better view. And let's find a forward fold. Hinging at the waist. Lowering the chest down. Rest the hands in line with the feet. and let the head be heavy here. Taking a few breaths. Walk the hands over towards the right foot. Grabbing the right ankle with the right hand. Allow the left fingertips to extend beyond the right foot. Feeling a nice stretch here. Walk the hands through center. Take it to the opposite side. Bring the palms under the face again. Weight shifts into the left palm. Sweep the right arm high. Finding a twist in the thoracic spine, the mid-back. Exhale, hands come together, changing sides. Lowering down, turn the toes back out. Press back up into your goddess pose briefly. Side angle, right elbow, right knee, straighten the back leg. Your option in side angle. Again, that bind is also available if you want to dip the right shoulder inside the right knee. Reach around, back of right hand on the right hip. Left arm comes to meet right hand, and you grab the left wrist with the right hand. The hand that binds does the grabbing. Left arm works towards straight if possible, and you're rolling the left shoulder open, lifting the gaze. Square it off to the front of the mat, heel toe, right foot aside. Back foot rotates onto the ball of the back foot, finding our lizard pose. Chest is reaching forward. Straighten the right leg to find your pyramid or half Hanuman, half splits. Step the feet together, lower to the knees, camel pose one more time. I'm going to find what I think some people call dancing camel. So what that's going to look like, I'm going to start with my right hand and my right heel. And as I drive my hips forward, I'm reaching my left arm across the body and above my head. Lower the hips to the heels, change sides. Left hand, left heel. Sweep the right arm across as you lift the hips. A couple more rounds here. One more time on each side. And your vinyasa, final time. Crawling the hands forward, setting up in your high plank or plank on the knees. Exhale to lower. Inhale to find cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale as you push the hips back using the core. Downward facing dog. Lower to the knees. Find a child's pose. Wide-legged or knees together. Lifting the knees. Downward facing dog. You can walk or hop the feet to the hands at the top of the mat. Inhale, engage the core to find a halfway lift. Exhale, find a forward fold, pause here, and then come all the way to standing. Inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, the hands by the sides. We're going to do a couple quick rounds of a figure 4 balance pose, but begin by crossing the right foot in front of the left. Adjust your weight. And let's find a forward fold with right foot crossed in front of the left. Let the head hang heavy. Feeling a stretch in the right outer hip. What we're going to do next is we're going to come back to standing and see if we can merge directly into a figure 4 balance. So bend the knees enough so that you can get your weight shifted into the left foot. Engage the core. As you come to standing, press into the left foot. See if the right knee can lift towards the chest, and then rest the right ankle on the left knee, taking the right knee to a 90-degree angle from the top of the mat. Hands can come to the chest here. Hands can be at the waist, really gripping the mat with the left toes, and sitting deep, bending in the left knee if you'd like, or stay tall. Playing around with this. If you find yourself wobbling a little bit, that is completely normal. That's why it's called a balance pose. Our minds are continually recalibrating, trying to help ourselves adjust over our center of gravity here. So give it a try a few times. And then see if it's possible to straighten the left leg and slowly step the feet together. Changing to side 2, beginning with left foot crossed in front of right. Shift your weight around so that you feel balanced and stable. And then let's find that forward fold, keeping the core engaged. Knees can be as bent as they would like to be. Allow the head to drop. Shifting the weight into the right foot as you bend the knees enough so that you can start to lift the torso, bringing the left knee with you. Left knee comes towards the chest first. Left ankle, right knee. Keeping your drishti, finding your soft focal point on a stationary object. Deep bend in the right knee if you'd like to give that a try. Wherever you are, your collarbones are still broadening here. Reaching away from one another, keeping the chest open. And then as you're ready, straighten the right leg, stepping the feet together, shaking that out a little bit. We have one more little mini sequence, one more trip around the mat, and then we'll begin to wrap things up. We're finding a half vinyasa here, half sun salutation here. So we inhale, sweeping the arms up high. Back bend at the top if you'd like. And then exhale to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. We're stepping back into a high lunge. Or if you'd like, the back knee can lower and you can find a low lunge, Anjaneyasana, your choice. If the back knee is lifted, press into the feet, lift the torso. Inhale the arms up overhead. As we exhale, we're going to open the arms wide and twist the torso over to the right. So if you're on your knees, your torso is also twisting to the right. Your right hand is behind you and you're gazing at the right fingertips. Your left arm is in front of you. Your collarbones are spread. Strong and active back leg, helping with stability to keep that back of the left thigh pushing up towards the sky. Straighten through the front leg. We're going to rotate to the long side of the mat now and find a wide-legged straddle fold. Feet are wide, toes are pointed forward, hinging at the waist, dropping the head, letting gravity separate the vertebrae in the neck. You can plant the hands on the mat in line with the feet. Find a slight bend in the knees. Press your way up to standing. And we have that high lunge at the back of the mat now. So now our left foot stays forward. We rotate everything to the back of the mat. Ball of the right foot, left toes pointed forward, high lunge or low lunge, your choice. Knee can be up or down. Let's find that revolve twist. So as you exhale, open the arms wide, twist the torso to the left. Right fingertips are facing in front of you. The left fingertips are behind you and you're gazing at the left hand. Revolve back to the back of the mat. Exhale, hands frame the front foot. Step it back to downward facing dog, lifting the hips, bringing the feet together. Pausing here in down dog for one breath. On your next inhale, sweep the left toes high. Rock the body forward, bend left knee. Set the left knee behind the left wrist, pigeon pose. Walk the right toes out behind you. Again, we're in pigeon with the left knee forward. Working towards hips being square to the back of the mat. Torso can stay lifted, or you're welcome to lower the chest towards the ground, resting on the forearms, or walking the hands all the way forward. Whatever level of depth feels right and nourishing for you at this moment. Press into the hands, step it back to downward facing dog. Second side. Inhale, the right toes lift. Exhale, rock the body forward, your pigeon pose. Making sure that both hips can rest gently on the mat. If you'd like some support, welcome to use a rolled up blanket or block so that your hips can both be square. Walk the hands back towards the pelvis. Make your way to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, sweep the right toes high. Step the right foot in between the hands for a high lunge. on the ball of the back foot, or the back knee can be lowered. Bring the left hand to the mat. Well, shift the weight into the left hand. It should already be on the mat. And then sweep the right arm up high, gazing at the right hand. Exhale to lower the hand, lift the back knee, walk the hands around to the long side of the mat, straddle, forward, fold. If you are a practitioner of a tripod headstand, this is the perfect time to add that in. If you're playing around with it, go right ahead. If you're in a forward fold, allow the vertebrae to separate from one another, allowing gravity to create distance there. Lifting the head and the chest, walk the hands back towards the top of the mat, setting into that lunge with the back knee lifted or lowered. Right hand stays on the mat this time, and the left arm sweeps high. Hands lower. Step the feet together at the back of the mat. Find your tabletop and then lower all the way down to the belly. We're going to find 2 rounds of Shalabhasana locust pose with a puppy pose in between. So I'll walk us through it, but bring the heels together. So legs are zipped together, heels touching. And then on our next inhale, we're going to lift everything off the mat except our pelvis. So head, neck, shoulders, chest, rib cage, feet, arms, strengthening the back body here. Lifting just a little bit higher if you can for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently setting everything back down. Place the hands next to the rib cage. Push yourself back into puppy pose. So hips are stacked directly above the knees. Walk the hands forward. So you're in kind of a child's pose shape at the top with your arms, with the hips stacked over the heels. Chin can rest on the mat, or the forehead can rest on the mat. Working your chest closer towards the ground. Release from puppy pose. Find your belly again. One more round of Shalabhasana or locust pose. Arms can be behind you or outstretched in front of you. You'll find arms in front of you will be a lot more engagement if you are in the range of having energy for that. Heels are touching, lifting everything off the mat. Holding here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting everything back down, pushing back to puppy pose again. Walking the fingertips forward, allowing the chest to drop in between the shoulders. Release from your puppy pose. Back down to the belly. Come up onto the left fingertips. So outside of the left rib cage, tent the left fingertips. Lift the upper body enough so that you can slide the right arm underneath the body and rest on the right shoulder here. Once you're in place, slide the left knee up so that it's in line with the left hip. So your lower body is in kind of a half frog shape. And let the head rest on the mat, turning the gaze over to the left, finding an opening in the right shoulder here and the inside of the groin on the left side. Slide the feet back together. Lift up a little bit, enough to release the arm. Change sides. Tenting right fingertips outside of the right rib cage. Lifting up, left arm underneath. And then sliding the right knee up in line with the right hip. Bringing feet back together, unwinding from there, press it back into tabletop. Making our way to seated now. Your choice as to how to get there. I'm going to widen my knees a little bit and come out through a malasana squat, a yogi squat. So I'm on the balls of my back, of my feet, lifting my knees, making my way to malasana. Pausing here just for a minute. Moving into my hips a little bit more. And then coming all the way to seated. Extending the legs in front of me for a seated forward fold. Moving anything out of the way that needs to be moved so that your hip bones, your sit bones can rest on the mat. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhale, walking the hands forward, moving the chest forward rather than down. So I'm keeping my gaze lifted to try to keep from rounding in my spine. Coming out of the forward bend, take the feet as wide as the mat. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on the ground, actually wider than the mat. And let's windshield the wiper the legs, dropping one knee towards the center, allowing it to rest there for a moment. Changing sides. And then speeding up our pace. Coming to stillness, extend the left leg long. Bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Place my right hand behind me. I'm going to lift up into kind of a supported side plank. So the weight is on my right knee, my right hand, and my left heel. I'm going to reach my left arm over my ear. And then I'm going to work on crunching my left elbow to my left knee here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Gently lowering the hips again and finding a forward fold over that left leg. The center of my chest is in the center of the leg, or over top of the center of the leg. Lifting back up, let's change sides. Right leg extends, sole of left foot to the inner right thigh. Left hand is behind me, pressing the hips high, kind of finding a supported side plank, or eventually moving my left knee a little bit closer under my body to find that crunch. Elbow to knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Resting everything back down on the mat. Lower the hips. Extend the legs long. Navasana, boat pose. Your choice. You can bring the heels close to the pelvis, keeping the spine straight and tall. Lift the heels off the mat. You can also place the hands behind you for support. Shins can come parallel or legs can straighten. So drawing the knees as close to the chest as possible, lifting shins or lifting legs, holding here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering it down, shaking it off. We have one more round of that. So coming back into heels, reaching for the pelvis as close as they can be, working on that compression between the thighs and the chest. Spine is straight and tall. This time, I'm bringing my shins parallel, and I'm going to tap one toe down and then the other. Again, hands can be behind you for support if you'd like. Let's be here for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the feet all the way down to the mat. Extend the legs long. Make a C shape with your body, rounding the spine. And let's lower all the way down to the back, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once you hit the mat, bring the hands and interlace them behind the head. We're going to take some oblique crunches or bicycles for just one little last burst of core work. Bring the knees parallel, or bring the shins parallel to the ground. Lift the head and the chest. Extend the right leg long and reach the right elbow for the left knee. Holding here. And then changing sides. Holding here. Changing sides. Again. Again. One more round on each side. And then lowering everything down to the mat. Knees stay bent, feet are on the ground about hip width distance apart. Place the right heel on top of the left knee. We're going to press up into a one-legged bridge. If you'd like to do both feet on the ground in your bridge pose, that's also an option. Hands can come down next to the body. And when you're ready, pressing into the lower back, peeling the spine off the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae, strong left glute, lifting the hips and holding here. Static hold or continue to static hold or take some pulses up with the hips for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Softly lowering everything down. Changing sides. Left heel, top of right knee, peeling the lower back off the mat, lifting the hips high, holding here. And then pulsing it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering everything down. Drawing the knees to the chest. Roll left to right. Releasing the lower back. You can even draw circles with the knees if you'd like in one direction. Change directions. And then opening the arms wide to a T, finding a supine twist, dropping the knees off to the right hand side, and turning the head in the direction of the left hand. If you find your left shoulder has lifted off the mat, back out of the twist a little bit and place something soft under the knees to help keep that shoulder relaxed on the mat. With the core engaged, draw the knees through center and lower them to the left side. Turning the gaze or turning the head in the direction of the right hand. Closing down the eyes if you haven't already. Making your way into Shavasana, bringing the knees back to center, straightening the legs long, as wide as the mat or wider. Hands can come down by the sides, letting everything release. We'll be here for a couple minutes in silence. In order to keep your mind focused on the present, you can incorporate some breathing techniques, focusing on your belly expanding on your inhales and contracting on your exhales. You can do a mental scan of your body, paying attention to where you can allow the muscles to relax a little bit further. You can even give yourself a mental massage as you scan your body. Whatever it takes to keep the mind present. We have just a few minutes left of stillness, so take advantage of that time. Allow your body to absorb the practice and breathe here. Bring some movement back into the body, Turn the head from side to side. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Make the movement a little bit bigger, incorporating the wrists and the ankles. Draw the knees up towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the knees, giving yourself a nice big hug. Rolling on to one side or the other for a couple of breaths. Making our way back to seated. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this flow. I would love to hear your feedback, so leave me a comment, and I hope to see you again soon. Enjoy your day.